عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So after we discussed Surah Al-Mursalat last week, so now we discuss inshallah Surah Qaaf. Yeah, before we start, Surah Qaaf is special surah. The Rasulullah used to read it a lot. Even it's mentioned that there's a lot of reward by reading a lot of Surah Qaaf and your prayer, especially for Fajr time. Yeah, Rasulullah sometimes just give khutbah, Surah Qaaf only. Yeah, or sometimes he read this surah during Isha time or Maghrib time a lot. And the surah was revealed in Makkah and basically talking about two ways. One way, the way to go to Jannah and the way to go to the hellfire. And this is human being choice. Allah gives choice. Right? Allah wants everybody to go to Jannah. Yeah. Let me start by reading the surah, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قاف والقرآن المجيد بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا ذلك رجع بعيد قد علمنا ما تنقص الأرض منهم وعندنا كتاب حفيظ بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فهم في أمر مريج أفلم ينظروا إلى السماء فوقهم كيف بنيناها وزيناها وما لها من فروج والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج بهيج تبصرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب. So the first ayah said Qaaf wal Quran al-Majid. Qaaf by the honor Quran. Yeah. Okay, Bashir.
The surah emphasizes the theme of resurrection and the ultimate success of those who have faith in Allah and His prophets. Sections include nature, points out to the resurrection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer to us than our life vein. The death, the end of the world, and the resurrection, and the final judgment.
Yeah. This is the type of surah is start by Qaaf. About 45 surah start by letter. Sometimes one letter like Qaaf, Noon, sometimes two letters, Ha, Mim, right? Sometimes three, Alif, Lam, Mim, right? Sometimes four, Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra, yeah? Sometimes five, and so on and so on. And what's the meaning of Qaaf, right? Always said only Allah knows what's the meaning. Yeah. Some Mufassir said it is to let people pay attention. The Arab have a custom how to start when they're going to speak. For example, sometime in the morning, wa sabaha, like good morning. In the evening, wa masa'a. That's a custom. When you say something is a custom, people don't pay attention too much. So therefore, the people have gathering, Rasulullah came. For example, I suddenly said, NCC, who is saying about? right? So if I start the intention. That's number one. Number two, also Allah want to challenge them. I say, look, this Quran, right, contain the same huruf, letter that you know it, from alif, ba, ta, tha, jim until ya, right? So that's the Quran contain all this huruf. There's no new huruf, new letters. Allah said, please produce one surah like the Quran. The short one. Inna atainaka al-kawthar. Yeah. So this is challenge. You know, and until now, nobody can challenge Quran. Yeah. So this is the what you call it, the proof that the Quran is the book from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mentioned many times the story about, suppose, you have a neighbor and you live with that neighbor for 40 years. You know him very well, and then one day, he knocked your door and you open the door. He said, look, did you miss me? I said, yeah, where were you, man? He said, I was in the mountain, and last night the angel Jibril came and appointed me to be a messenger of God. So from now on, I am not only your friend, your neighbor, I am the messenger of God, and you have to follow me. Okay? And I will give proof. So for example, he recite to you the word from God. What will be your reaction? Not to talk about prophet, your neighbor. Maybe you will say to him, man, what did you eat last night? There's a mental hospital there. Because how come suddenly you become prophet? But one thing that when the prophet did that to the Quraysh have the same reaction. Said, you Muhammad, suddenly become prophet? Yeah. But one thing they cannot deny was that the language of Quran. You know your wife language, your husband language, your friend language. But suddenly he talked like Shakespeare. I said, who are you, man? Right? So that's the Quraysh unable to deny that when Muhammad read like Qaaf al-Quranil Majid, they know this is not from human being. It should be from God. But because of the ego, arrogant, they still in the beginning, they denied. Yeah. So after Allah praise or swear with oath, and then he said, Wal Quranil Majid. You remember that when you have waw and kasrah, that mean is swearing. So by the honor Quran. Quran is honor. Whether you honor it or not, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the honor Quran, the sacred Quran. Yeah. Said the virtue of Allah's word is like the virtue between Allah, the creator, and the creation. Right? So how much the distance between Allah, creator and creation? Far away. Yeah. So therefore, the word of Allah is perfect word. In its letter, in its sentence, in the word, everything is perfect. Right? So therefore, this you have, if it's perfect, that means it should be push us to learn more about this Quran. Yeah, Al-Quran al-Majid. Then also Allah said, بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب. But they wondered that there has come to them a warner from among themselves. And the disbelievers say, this is an amazing thing. Yeah, Bashir?
They think it's strange that someone from among themselves should warn them when this is indeed the very thing that human nature easily accepts. It is most natural that God should have chosen one of them to deliver his message, for he was someone who could readily share their feelings, speak their language, take part in their activities, be amongst them through their lives, appreciate their motives, as also recognize their abilities and limits.
If you read the entire Quran, every time that Allah sent a messenger, the first thing they deny, because the messenger is human being like us. How come a man walking in the street, eat and drink like us, right? If it is messenger, it had to be angel. But the problem, if Allah sent angel, how an angel can communicate with us? He's a different entity. Yeah. So therefore, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed a prophet after he lived with them for years, mostly after 40 years. So Allah never sent a messenger from foreigner. Muhammad sallallahu he lived with them for 40 years. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wait until 40 years? So to gain confidence. So everybody know him, his honesty, his fairness, his good moral. So therefore, no one can say, you Muhammad, remember when you lied to me, when you cheat me? Never. There's no way, right, they can accuse Muhammad. The only reason that on that time, the Arab deny Muhammad, because Muhammad from poor family. You know, he said, if the Quran was true from God, why don't one choose one of our leaders? Right? The reason also the people of the book rejected Muhammad because of jealousy, envy. Yeah. So bal ajibu an ja'ahum mundirun. Mundir, we have mundir, mubashir. Mundir or nadir is the one who gives warning, right? And mubashir, the one who gives good news. Yeah. So this is the first reaction. Yeah. The reaction not in the beginning because they couldn't deny the language of Quran. This should be from God. But he denied first the person who conveyed the message. Yeah. And then he said, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ بَعِيدٌ. When we have died and have become dust, we will return to life. You know, this is a distant, unlikely return. Bashir?
Those people in Mecca, however, did not look at the question in this light at all. They were too naive to understand the true nature of life and death or to visualize God's power. Hence, they said, when we have died and become dust, such a return to live is too far-fetched. Thus, to them, it was a question of improbability of life after death when people's bodies have decomposed and turned to dust. Yet, since life takes place in the first place, why is it improbable for it to occur again?
Yeah. You know, what is the most important belief in the sixth pillar of Iman? You know, we have belief in Allah, His angel, His book, His messenger, you know, the last day, and belief in divine destiny. What is to believe always connected? Whoever believes in Allah, and what? Next one. Not believe in angel, believe in, believe in the last day. Always. You know, this mentioned the Quran also. الذين يؤمنون بالله. And then it has وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُقِنُونَ. You know, because if somebody really believe in the last day, the day of judgment, their life will be changed. He become really human being. Why? Because before he talk, before he act, before he eat, before he sign a contract, before do anything, before he oppress people, before he cheat people, before he backbite about somebody, he will think, right? What I'm going to say when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call me, right? Because everything will be called for accountable. And the hadith said, no one will enter Jannah or hellfire before Allah asks him or her four questions. The first question said, I give you my, for example, 70 years old. Somebody died 90, 70, 80. Allah said, how did you spend your life? Because life, time that Allah give to us is amana, is trust. Somebody believe in that life, he's going to use that time properly. He's going to use all his time to invest for the akhirah. Then Allah will ask again about health as well. How did you get it? How you spend it? When people believe in the next life, that Allah will question him, he will not consume from haram income, from haram thing, haram way. He will not steal. We not do corruption. So people cheating, do corruption to become rich because of what? He did not really believe strongly in the next life. Yeah. Number 3, Allah will ask about the knowledge. You know, what the knowledge that you learn, and are you practicing? How many Jummah you attend? How many class you attend? Right? And you know it's halal haram. How many percent that you practice? You implement the knowledge you learn. And also how did you teach the others? And the last one about your body, your limbs, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, everything. Because all this also amana, trust. How did you use it? So when people became akhirah oriented, he always be careful. So therefore, somebody asked what definition of taqwa. So taqwa, he said, if you walk on the street, lot of thorn, how do you walk? Oh, I have to be careful. I don't want to step on that thorn. That's taqwa. So the taqwa, the one with taqwa is the one who always be careful before he talk, before he eat. When you buy the medicine, even you see the ingredient, the food, look at the ingredient, be careful. Why? Because you know that I will stand before God and God will question. And on that day, you cannot pay the lawyer. It's not even no lawyer at that time. Yeah. So this is the most important belief that Allah combine always believe in Allah. Because believe in Allah only, that's not enough, because everybody believes in Allah. But believe that there is one day I will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the whole Quran, also in this surah, inshallah, to prove it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use, in Arabic called Dalilul Naqli. Use the proof from the Quran. For example, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Whoever does good deed, even a small of seed, a small, yarah, he will see. He will be manifest in the judgment. Allah will bring our video, like YouTube, everything. Yeah. So be careful. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hide 3 things in 3 things. Allah said what? Allah concealed 3 in 3. Yeah. Allah khubba'a ridwanahu. Allah concealed his pleasure, his ridha, approval, in the obedient to him, in good deed. So don't belittle any good deed, because maybe in it is Allah's pleasure. and you enter Jannah. Right? So never belittle. In the hadith said, Rasulullah SAW say that people will enter Jannah because he removed the rock on the street. So people will not step down or fall down. Maybe you're smiling. Maybe when somebody in need and you're helping them. Or maybe you find wife for somebody. You find a job for someone. Any good deed never diminish. Remember that a woman will enter Jannah because she gave water to a dog. Why? Because Allah pleased. That's number one. Number two, Allah hide his anger in the obedient, in disobedient to him. Right? So he said, never belittle any sin, any disobedient. By being in it is Allah anger. Oh man, just white lie. It's okay, I just send that WhatsApp and you're hurting people there. Because he said one word can bring you to hellfire. So never put that. When you do something wrong, then return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because maybe that's because you put it down, you're not considered sin. Because he said, don't look into the sin. You have to look at to whom you commit sin. If you are a parent, you made mistake to your son, your daughter, you're not really worried. But to your parent, it's different. It's my parent. Yeah. So that dalil from the Quran, from the Hadith. But also Allah used to prove it the next life through the logic. Through what? The logic. Because in this world, there is Dalim Madlum. We have oppressor, we have oppressed. We have a tyrant with the weak people. Right? There's many cases that somebody who did crime, but because he able to pay the lawyer, and he get rid of it, he's safe. So many things sometimes you see injustice in this life. If everybody, the evil men, and good men, when they die, have the same destination, that means Allah is not perfect. So the day of judgment is to show the perfectness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. But the problem, the majority Muslim, no one deny about the next life. Nobody. Even drunkard. You believe, of course, man, I believe. Right? But the problem is they did not deny with their word, their heart, but deny with their action. They believe in the next life, but he didn't wake up for Fajr. He didn't pray. Still dealing with interest, and cheating people, corruption. Right? So by doing that, what happened? Yeah, so that means they denied the next life with their action. Yeah, so that's how Allah proved it. Next life through the Holy Quran, many ayah talk about the next life, and also by logic. If there is no day of judgment, there should be no fairness, no justice. قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ وَإِنْدَنَا كِتَابٌ حَفِيظٌ. We know what the earth, diminish, I consume of them, and with us is retaining record. Sure?
Nothing shakes a person's heart like death, and nothing fills him with dread like perishing. The Surah's comment strengthens this effect as it describes the earth eating them little by little. We know very well what the earth takes away from them. We have an unfailing, comprehensive record. The phraseology of this comment shows the earth as a living thing that swallows, little by little, their buried bodies in a steady, progressive action, asserting that God knows what the earth swallows and that it is all recorded. Nothing is lost, even though they may die and perish.
Yeah. So this ayah, tanqusul ard, the earth become less and less. It means when people died and put in the grave, right? So the small insect like the earth eating their meat, and it become less and less, become only bone. Yeah. So this is also remind us the important, of thinking about the grave. Anybody think that what will be the first night in the grave? People all think about the first night when you marry, right? But can you think what will be the first night in the grave? Yeah, I said, "Wa indana kitabun hafiz," and with us is retaining record. Everything you go to the grave will be recorded. Be recorded will be with you. Yeah. So when people now in the grave, so what happened? He will be alone. There's no IC, no heater, and everybody will leave him or leave her. Yeah. There is a fiction story. A man with his family, his wife, his children, was driving van. They drive. In the middle, somebody gives sign, and they stop. Said, "Can I join? Can I have drive?" Said, "Who are you?" Qala ana al-mal. I am the wealth. So he asked his family, "So what do you think?" "Oh, Dad, just let him come in. We need wealth." Remember, we're going to picnic now, so you can stay in the 5-star hotel. We can go to the best restaurant. When we have well, everything easy. So the well joined, and it drove again, and then somebody stopped again. The father driver stopped and said, "Who are you?" "Ana sulta. I am the power." That means men have tie. That means I have power. So he asked his family, "What do you think?" "Dad, this is good. Dad, when we have somebody have position, everything he just call, everything will be easy. When you get if you want to get job, you want to any country, he just call that person. So the sulta, the position, join also. Then he continue drive. Another person stop him. Stop. And then said, "Who are you?" "Ana Deen. I am religion." He asked his family, "So what do you think?" "Who? Religion?" "Oh, Dad, tell him just next time we're going to picnic, because if he join, they have to pray, there's halal, haram, don't do this, you have to do this. You cannot really free there. Just tell him to join in Ramadan. We don't need him now." So he left Dean on the street, and they continue. And then suddenly they assign dead end. And a scary man came out and asked the driver to come out. "Come in." So what? "Why you block the road?" He said, "This is the end. You cannot continue." I said, "Oh, but I have with me my family, wealth, position. Can I bring all of them with me?" He said, "No. Do you have Dean?" "Dean?" "Yeah." If you have deen, you can bring it. With this one, I don't need it. Will not benefit you. You have deen. Oh, I forget. I left him in the street. Can I go back? I said, no. You gotta go back. And then he asked his family, honey, can you join us? I asked the well, and everybody, I'm sorry, Dad. Bye-bye. So his son drive and Deen. Allah. Deen, you don't pay attention before, that's the one who can save you. But with negligence. Yeah. How much time did you remind our family with the Deen? Huh? How many family join this class, for example? Yeah. Right? You know why our children is not really proud with the Deen? Because no knowledge. There's no motive. You don't give the motivation. You know, the people of Musa, why they're worshiping Qaaf? Because 40 days, they no class, no Zoom, no TAFSEER class. 40 days. What you expected if your children, your family, for years, for months, they never hear what Allah said, what the Prophet said. They become dry. Islam has become, just formative. Yeah. It's very important to care about the deen. Yeah. بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فهم في أمر مريج. But they denied the truth when it came to them. So they are in confused condition.
They have denied the truth, which made the earth under their feet move. In this way, they are completely unstable. Yet they deny the truth when it comes to them, and so they are in a state of confusion. This is a telling image. The truth is the solid point where a believer stands, giving him a firm step as he walks on solid ground. Everything around him that is contrary to the truth is unstable, confused, and lacking substance. Whoever steps outside the truth is bound to slip into such confusion and so loses stability. He is without reassurance, ever in a state of confusion.
But كذبوا. You talk about the Quraysh. They deny. Deny what? Al-Haq, the truth. They know Muhammad is on the right path. He never lie. Right? So when they come to them, yeah, and they are also confused. The first, they deny because he is human being from poor family. They deny, and they not only deny, they call him magician sometimes, they call him liar, they call him poet, and many things, without even try to read it and to understand it. Yeah. So this behavior of the Quraysh also a sign they never think about the next life, because he said, how come after we die, our bodies decay, we come back alive again? So sometimes it is very important that we visit the grave. We take showers, somebody who died, especially your family. Because when you take shower, your best friend, for example, maybe you remember, oh man, I know he played soccer with me, he went camping with me, right? No, even he cannot take shower by himself. He cannot pray by himself. So if one day you go to masjid and you pray, you have to remember that one day somebody have to pray for you. Allah. Yeah? Somebody have to pray for you. Yeah. أفلم ينظروا إلى السماء فوقهم كيف بنيناها وزيناها وما لها من فروج. Have they not looked at the heaven above them, how we structured it and adorned it, and how it has no rift?
As the surah prepares to discuss their objections to resurrection, it touches on further aspects of this fundamental truth as it appears in the structure of the universe. It invites them to look at the heavens, the earth, mountains, rain, palm trees, gardens, and plants. The style employed here is in full harmony with the magnificence of the solid truth. Do they not look at the sky above them? How we have built it and adorned it, leaving no flaws in it. The sky represents a page in the book of the universe, testifying to the truth they had abandoned.
أَفَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا. Now Allah, after talk about Muhammad is a true prophet, talk about the importance of belief in the next life. So how to convince them, to make them accept, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them to look at around them. Look at the sky, right? Sky without pillars. How Allah construct the sky. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adorn the sky with the sun, with the moon, with the galaxies and the planets. Right? Think about that. Because all this phenomenon that you see around us is under our telescope, right? It should be bring us to what you call to believe that Allah is perfect. Sometimes you look at the sophisticated technology, how you see beautiful drowning. You said, wow, that person should be, very smart, man. So therefore, when you look to Allah creation, you will find the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will discover that there's only one God. You will discover the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will discover His mercy, His knowledge, His power, just by looking around us. Yeah. You know how many galaxies? Billion galaxies. And every galaxies have millions of stars. The distance between us to one of the star, the closest star, is need about 5 years with the speed of light. That means if you use the Challenger or Apollo, so we need 50 million years just to go to the close star. Allah, yeah. So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to think about whatever that, because everything will bring to one thing. There's only one God. Because no one can create this except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? Look at the sky. Right? Look at the sky. You are in the morning when the sky going to sunrise. It's so beautiful. Somebody take the pictures every morning. The picture of the skies is different. Yeah. Allah. والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج بهيج. In the earth we spread it out, cast their iron firmly, set mountains and made grow their iron something of every beautiful kind.
Likewise, the earth is a page from the same book of the universe. We spread out the earth and set upon it firm mountains and caused every kind of delectable plants to grow on it. The wide spread of the earth, the firm mountains placed on it, and the delectable plants that grow on it also project the same features of firmness, stability, and beauty already associated with the sky.
Allah. وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا. Even the earth is like ball, but also said when you look at it's in madadna like spread, right? And then the earth to be stable, while qaina fear Allah put a mountain. Yeah, the mountain is to stabilize the earth. Yeah, without earth there will be no stable. Yeah, And then we mentioned last time about the graffiti and all this. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and the problem sometimes we pass by many mountains, we never try to reflect. Yeah. You know. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this ayah, وَأَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا كُلَّ زَوْجٍ بَهِيجٍ. And we grow therein something that every beautiful kind. You know, all kind of fruit, all kind of trees, yeah, all kind of what you call when you look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only created the flower, but also the color of the flower. You know, if all the flower one color, maybe Allah not only created the plant, created different kind of plant. Because Allah is beautiful, love beauty. So before even you eat it, you was enjoy just to look at the view. Yeah. So therefore, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, تَبْصِرَةً وَذِكْرَى لِكُلِّ أَبَدٍ مُنِيبٍ. Giving insight and reminder for every servant who turned to Allah.
Now that this universal image has been drawn, the surah touches their hearts, directing them to reflect on the purpose of creation, so that it serves as a lesson and a reminder to everyone who wishes to turn to God. Thus, curtains are removed, insight is sharpened, and hearts and souls are alerted to reflect on the origination, wisdom, and harmony apparent in the universe. Such a reminder is especially useful to those who wish to turn to God. This link between the human heart and the inspiration of the endless, beautiful universe is indeed what gives opening the book of the universe and contemplating it the effect it has on our hearts and the value it attaches to our lives.
Yeah, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us two ayah. Ayah in the Quran, in the book, and ayah in universe. Right? And what's for? It said, tabsiratan, giving insight, a lesson, right? Reminder. But for who? The one who turned to Allah. If you don't turn to Allah, you just look at the beautiful thing for us. Right? Like, for example, sometimes people, they only look to the thing that you see. Somebody gives something, but he never remember, oh, thank to the one who gives to him. He said, oh, beautiful. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here asks us to reflect, because everything that in the universe is become tabsirah, giving sight to the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever you study about the fruit, about the plant, everything, you will come to conclusion how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then when you have feeling how Allah great, your behavior will be changed. Yeah. So decision is with us. You know, so therefore why without turning to Allah, you will not have this feeling. Like I mentioned last time, there is somebody, he know about a stone, all kind of stone. One stone has $50,000. You know, this is Zamru, this is this. But after he became religious, he always said, MashaAllah, Subhanallah, how great Allah. Then he discovered it. Yeah, the same with scientists. If you are a scientist and you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you talk about universe, you will say, oh, how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you talk about the subject. Yeah. وَنَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً مُبَارَكًا فَأَنبَتْنَا بِهِ جَنَّاتٍ وَحَبَّ الْحَصِيدِ.
The water sent down from the sky is a great sign, sending life into hearts before it quickens dead land. It imparts a special feeling to all. It is not only children that rainfall delights, sensitive adults also experience a similar feeling of awe. The rain is described here as rich in blessings and a means by which to produce fruits and fields of grain, as well as palm trees of great beauty.
وَنَزَّلْنَا, and we send down minas sama, from the heaven, ma'an, water, mubarakan, blessing. You know the word mubarak in Arabic mean if it is little, you feel a lot. Small, you feel big. Mubarak can also always grow, right? Mubarak also a lot of beneficial. It is true. You know, without water, there's no life. And because of water, فَأَنْبَتْنَا بِهِ jannat. And Allah SWT produce, you know, grow jannat, garden, different kind of the, what you call, the fruits. Subhanallah. As I mentioned before, you know, when you look at this, before even you eat it, right? You know, imagine the color is not like this, ugly color. Maybe you don't have appetite. But before you eat it, Allah SWT was beautifying to attract you. Right? Subhanallah. The farmer, when they planted, didn't know what color will come out. Yeah? Subhanallah. But how many times that you look at all this fruit and you think, wow, we just eat. So here Allah SWT asks to reflect with everything that around you that you enjoy with. Yeah. وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ.
The water sent down from the sky is a great sign, sending life into hearts before it quickens dead land. It imparts a special feeling to all. It is not only children that rainfall delights. Sensitive adults also experience a similar feeling of awe. The rain is described here as rich in blessings and a means by which to produce fruits and fields of grain, as well as palm trees of great beauty and tall palm trees laden with clusters of dates. The description of the fruits these trees bear is intended to highlight this beautiful aspect, emphasizing harmony with the overpowering and beautiful truth the universe presents.
Allah mentioned in the Quran many times about nakhal, and then the grave and all, because that's the tree that the Arab on that time they can see. If Allah talk about mango, about banana on that time, people was dead. Yeah. When nakhla basiqat, and the palm trees having fruits range. You know what you call? I was reading about the benefit of the dates. Subhanallah. We found about 46 benefit of dates. Subhanallah. Good for the stomach, good for, you know, it said the digest, good for many things. Especially people, women who are pregnant or just little baby. Remember what you call Maryam, when she was pregnant and she just gave birth. Allah SWT said, وَحُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِذْءِ النَّخْلَةِ تُسَاقِطْ عَلَيْكِ رُطَبًا جَنِيًّا. Allah asked her to shake that palm tree so will fall down. What? Rutab. Rutab means the death is very soft. Yeah, very soft. This is good for the baby and for the mother who are, yeah, they call rutab. Yeah. And so therefore, when Rasulullah one day said, you know, the believer like a tree. Anybody know what tree? Everybody was mentioned different kind of tree. Ibn Abbas very young. I know this, you know, palm tree. The Rasulullah said it's palm tree. Why Allah give example with the palm tree? Because that tree that the Arab every day see it. You go into masjid, come to walk, you know, in Medina especially, everywhere that tree. But Rasulullah want to invite them to reflect the thing that you see every day, but you never reflect. He said, you, O believer, like this. What does it mean? That means this is the tree that everything from it is beneficial. Right? He said the leaf used to become the roof of the house on that time. The trunk become the pillar of the house. Even the masjid, all is that trunk of the tree and the roof is. And then also the date, that is sweet. You know, you cannot eat banana if not mature yet. You know, but tamar or date, when they're still young like this, they call balah. You can eat it, it's good. I like it. Something. And then when become what you call ripe, they call tamar. And if very ripe, they stop, they call balah. So balah is good. You know, they call in Arabic, I forget. When you have baby, the first thing you have to put balah, sweet. Why sweet? Psychologically, so the first thing the baby tastes is sweet. So therefore, inshallah, when baby grow up, they like to smile, to give sweet to the others. So therefore, if you see somebody always frown, no smiling, maybe the parent put vinegar when they are young. Yeah, and then the last fortunate, rizqan lil ibad wa ahyayna bihi baldatan maita baldatan maitan kadhalikal khuruj.
As provision for the servants, and we have given life thereby to a dead land. Thus is the emergence. A touch on human feelings is added within the context of the rain and what it brings about of plant life, providing sustenance suitable for people. It is God who gives the sustenance from the time it sends forth its shoots until it gives its yield. He is the master, and they, the servants, remain oblivious of their duty to appreciate and show gratitude. At this point, the final goal is identified. Thus, we bring dead land to life. So will people come forth from the dead?
Rizqan lil ibad, everything, everything Allah created is rizq, provision. Do you know that everything in the universe, the sunrise, sunset, moon, full moon, at moon, is to serve us? No, to serve human being. And then Allah send the water, wa ahyayna bihi. Allah give a life. So therefore, Allah always, give example, the revelation with the water. Like water give life, also Quran give life to your spirit, to your hearts. Now, and also this is the proof that in their judgment will come back to Allah also the same. Yeah. So this is the first part of Surah Qaaf. We have 4 parts, inshallah. And the next one very interesting. Yeah. But for tonight, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first swear with the Quran, the honorable Quran. Right? That means Quran is honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you honor it or not. Right? Don't be like Quraysh. They denying Quran without even try to look it, to read it. And some Muslim like that. Quran, only read Quran, people die. Yeah. Or for the opening of the some program, right? Yeah, we have to study Quran. And Allah talk about the resurrection, the importance of belief in the next day. Because if you have strong belief in next life, our life will be different. You always be careful. So therefore said, death is enough as reminder. If the angel of death whispered to our ear that this is the last day, what will be the day on that day? Oh man, you're going to pray good, you're going to be nice to everybody. So therefore you have to always remember that one day you're going to leave this world. You don't think because I'm young, no, you're going to leave one day. Yeah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order them to convince them, Allah called them to look at this universe, to look at the sky, the earth, the sun, the moon, the fruit, the plant. Right? Because by studying all this Allah's creation, all phenomenon, you will feel that Allah is perfect, Allah is wise, everything, because everything assigned refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So anybody remember the 5 prophetic advice to parent? You repeat it again. Anyone? And you are a parent. Nobody today? What's the 5 prophetic advice for parent?
Sheikh, you have to complete faith with kindness.
MashaAllah, good. Next one.
It's okay to play with the children.
MashaAllah. Read the 5 one. If you have it.
Don't be quick to scold the children.
Okay. MashaAllah. Haris, you're always the best student, MashaAllah. I need another best student too. Good. For tonight is 5 lessons from the Quran. Yeah, from story of Yunus alayhi salam. Yeah. So this is the first one is do not angry very fast. Yunus alayhi salam, without ask Allah permission for 10 years, he made dua, but no one listened to him. So he left. He's not supposed to leave. But then he was in the belly of the fish, right? And it was dark. They said, no matter the darkness, always pray for the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wanada fi dhulumat. He called Allah in darkness. Darkness has to be spiritually. You are confused, you lost job, you have problem in your family, you look like everything dark. Turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Yunus did? Allah ilaha illa anta. There is no God, there is no darkness. Yeah, come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I believe that for every because this will be relief. Yeah. And also number 3, Allah is always merciful. Right? Even to someone who made mistake like Yunus. Allah brought him out again from the valley. And Allah lets when he went to the desert, and this tree, the pumpkin tree was grow. Yeah. Because pumpkin tree said it's not affected by a small insect, because the body of Yunus need to be protected because he was inside the belly of the fish. Yeah. The believers are always protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, Yunus alayhi salam, nobody know he's alone there. Even the angel, when he was making dua, Allah, I know his voice. He's familiar, but where he is, only Allah knows. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he's the believer, Allah will protect him. Patience is an important part of our faith as Muslim. Right? Yunus was not patient in the time. So he's very impatient. Patient from whatever. From your wife, your husband, your children, from the what we have now with the COVID-19, Delta, and so on. Is just be patient. There should be relief one day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can remove it. Yeah. So that's 5 lessons, inshallah, from Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. I hope that we can practice it in our life. Yeah. So there will be no class next week. Yeah, they will have if you have time, bazaar in Olympia. They presented all kind of food, clothes from different countries. The Masjid Olympia, the annual, every year there's a lot of people coming. So I'll be there. Presented some, what Indonesian can cook, whatever. So inshallah, see you the following week. Any question? Alhamdulillah hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazida. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa adhimi sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. And also This include in our dua for brother, our beloved brother Samsuddin. He's with us today, but he was sick, and he asked everybody to make dua. So I can see, mashallah. Yeah, make dua for him, inshallah. May Allah SWT, give him shifa. Allahumma ya Rabban nas, ya Rabbal basi, isfi anta shafi, shifaan la yughadiru saqama. Allahumma ya Rabban nas, Rabbal basi, isfi anta shafi, shifaan la yughadiru saqama. Allahumma nas'aluka bismika al-a'zam wa ridwanika al-akbar, ya arhamar rahimin, ya Rabbal alamin. Allahumma arzuqhu sihhatan wa afiyah fid dunya wal akhirah. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin.